live. It is live. We're going live. We are live. If you're in the chat, say hello. We're live. We are talking about Alexander Isak. We're talking about Rodrygo. We're talking about your boy Isaac. Talking everything Liverpool. So get yourself in the stream now. Get yourself in. Say hello. Come to YouTube. Get on the YouTube. The link to my YouTube is in my bio. And if you are there, if you are watching on YouTube, it would be helpful if you could let me know what's the sound like. Is the audio good? Let me check myself actually. Sound like the audio good? Check myself. Are we getting good audio? Is the audio good on our YouTube? Hello Andrew, how are we, mate? Are we getting good audio? Right, it sounds like our audio is good, so I can mute that. I'm not bad, Tom, mate. Like I say, we are going to be live streaming on YouTube all night. So if you go to the YouTube channel, it's in my it's in my what's it in? In my bio. Like if you go to my bio thing on my page and click to my YouTube, or just type in For the Reds on YouTube, and it'll come up. So yeah, get yourself in. Like I say, Andrew, everything we chat tonight, transfer wise, it's going to be in the YouTube. So if you go onto my page on TikTok here and click on the little link thing in my bio, it'll send you to my YouTube and then you can see the live stream there. Or alternatively, just go onto YouTube, type in For the Reds, and my YouTube will be there, and then you can come on. Is there anybody in? Is there anybody in the YouTube? Is there anybody there in the YouTube live stream waiting? Are we in there? Are we in the live stream of YouTube? If you're in the live stream on YouTube now, let me know. Say hello. Alternatively, if you're watching on TikTok, come over to my YouTube. This is where we're going to be. Like I say, if you are on the YouTube right now, then please put a comment in the chat box. Let me know you're here. Massive likes and thumbs up. Every kind of bit of support helps as we try and grow it. So I'd really, really, really appreciate any kind of support. Any kind of support is massive. If you're on TikTok, come over to the YouTube. It's in my bio. And like I say, please say hello. Please say hello if you're on YouTube so I know. Let me know what the stream's like. Is it HD? Is it good? It's a little bit of a tester tonight. You know, we're seeing how it goes. Same again, if you're watching on TikTok, then come over to the YouTube, go in my bio, click the link, go to my YouTube channel. Alternatively, just type in For the Reds on YouTube and you'll find me. We're going to talk Alexander Isak, we're going to talk Ekatike, we're going to talk Rodrygo. We're going to be chatting about everything and everyone to do with Liverpool tonight. So I'd really appreciate it. If you're there, if you're watching in the YouTube, can you just hit a like and leave a comment? I want to know if it's going well. We'll start the actual transfer show a little bit later. I just want to get a few people in and make sure that we're doing it right. So like I say, if you're in the YouTube, please say hello. Stick something down there, put a comment. Alternatively, if you're watching on TikTok, come over to my YouTube. Thank you for the like, whoever hit the like on the live stream. Let me just tweet it out that we are live. Share, copy link. Paste. We are now live. Come and support the rebirth of For the Reds. If you're in the TikTok, come over to my YouTube. I'd really appreciate it. Sarah says, love the teddies. Oh, and then it was supposed to be a yellow heart, I think. They're my favourite teddies. Can I say happy birthday, Anthony? Who's Anthony? Thank you, Choker. Appreciate that. I hope you're sticking around because we're going to be talking everything Liverpool around about 7:30. Thank you, that. Thank you for the subscription. Feel free to also hit like. The more likes the stream gets, the more it gets pushed out to people. So I really appreciate it. If you're watching on TikTok, then come over to my YouTube. That's where we're going. That's where we're spending our time. So I'd really appreciate if you come over there. Yeah, I think is it going well? Is it going good? Is the stream running all right and smooth? Like I say, we will get going at 7:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. We'll be talking everything Alexander Isak, Rodrygo, Ekatike, all the business. We'll even have a little bit on a youth signing potentially for Liverpool, as I've got a little bit of insider information on that one. How about that, eh? The job centre have let me know on TikTok in my live stream comments. Don't forget, Ryan, you have a universal credit appointment on Thursday, 11:45 a.m. Thank God, I don't want to miss that. I need my dole money. Need my universal credits. Perfect. Right, good. So the stream is good. It's healthy. It's running sound. That's what we like to hear. Let's check the old Twitter. David Ornstein has said some stuff. We will talk about that. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, I think we're good. Perfect. Same again, guys. If you are in the TikTok, we are going to be live streaming and talking everything Liverpool over on YouTube. So I would really appreciate it if you click the link in my channel bio and go over to Liverpool for the Reds, my YouTube channel, because we're streaming right now, and that's where we're going to be for the night. So I would appreciate it. So yeah, my YouTube. That's where you need to be. That's where we're going to be tonight. Is my YouTube for the Reds. If you're in the YouTube, say hello. If you are in there, say hello. Tell me you're ready. Let me know that you are ready for us to be watching and talking about Liverpool Football Club. Alexander Isak. Who's connected to the show or something? Okie dokes. Not bothered about that. Right, should we start talking a little bit about Liverpool? Shall we? Should we start talking about Liverpool? Yeah. Perfect. Right, okay. I will leave the TikTok running. I'll put it there. I'll put it there whilst we talk to YouTube about Liverpool Football Club. So, let's begin. We're going to start with David Ornstein's recent comments, right? So, David Ornstein has said, Um, you sense that Liverpool would only make an approach like this if there was some level of encouragement, wherever that may be from. I don't think they would just randomly go for it, and they have indeed made that approach. I believe he goes on to also say, or is that just it? Oh no. In terms of where it goes next, I think a little bit of time is required. Will Newcastle's stance shift? We've seen no sign of it so far. Will Isak agitate to leave? We have seen no sign of that so far. But there is quite a lot of distance to go before the transfer window shuts. And we have got no indication that Liverpool is going to drop their interest. So it's ongoing and it keeps us talking. That's David Ornstein of The Athletic. Now, I think David Orns, I think Alexander Isak is in a position where he is giving it a little bit of time to see if Liverpool and Newcastle can agree something before he starts to agitate or have to agitate a move. Um, if he starts to have to agitate a move and he's the one that then becomes in the public eye if, as you know, pushing for it and maybe even handing in a transfer request or something like that, then his relationship with the Newcastle fans ends up being, being tainted a little bit. And he 100 million% will not want that. Now, I think if you're Alexander Isak, you're in a bit of a difficult situation because not only have you got a potential move to Liverpool Football Club. Why have I gone down to what the hell is going on? Hmm? Don't know what happened with the thing, Yeah, not only are you under pressure from your agent to probably get this deal done, you're under a little bit of pressure from Liverpool in the sense of they're going to make it clear that there's probably only this window that you can move to Liverpool Football Club, because if it doesn't happen this window, then there's not a chance that Liverpool are staying around. They're going to be going to another striker. Looks like Hugo Ekitike. So you're under pressure from Liverpool of it's either now or never. You're under pressure from you're under pressure from Newcastle to reject it and stay there and stay loyal. You're under pressure from your agent of, it's a big move. But then you've also got yourself pressure, the pressure of yourself of, well, this is a big opportunity and it's a big move that could come my way. If this is my only chance, am I willing to push? Am I willing to really push for it? Now, as Charlie says here, I'm not too sure either. I hope I'm wrong as well. I hope he pushes for the move. But I don't see him as that kind of character. So I'm the same as you. That I don't see him as the same as I don't see him as that kind of character, Chalky, of someone who's going to come out and publicly push himself. Um, but what he has got is an agent, and an agent who can do that for him. Now, there's a good chance that if this if this moves on the way that Alexander Isak isn't wanting in Liverpool, um, I can bet you any money his agent will start putting the pressure on 100 million%, because not only is it a massive move, in the grand schemes of the player's ambitions and where he would go, it's also a huge move for the agent. To be known as the agent who manufactured the Alexander Isak to Liverpool move, he'll get a massive, massive, massive payday out of it. He'll also get a, sort of like he'll also get an increased CV, because he was the person that manufactured Alexander Isak moving to Liverpool Football Club in a 120, 130 million pound deal. I don't see how if you're the agent, you don't want that to happen. The rumours are that it was a year ago, so it was a year ago that they already shut down contract talks with Newcastle and just said flat line, we won't be talking about a new deal. And if that's the case, then surely the player's mind's already made up. What do you think? Is the player's mind already made up? Is the agent the one pushing for this? I completely agree with David Ornstein in the fact that Liverpool wouldn't just do this for no reason. I I think the player wants to move. I think Alexander Isak wants to come to Liverpool. I think that's pretty obvious. Um, will that result in him coming to Liverpool? I'm not too sure. It all depends on Newcastle, as we know. Hugo Ekitike also plays a big part in this. You know, Hugo Ekitike also plays a big part in this because he's in a situation where his move probably depends. Also, his move probably leans into what happens with, you know, with Alexander Isak because if Hugo Ekitike is Newcastle's first choice as believed before they bought Alexander Isak, then it pretty much goes hand in hand that their replacement for Alexander Isak would be Hugo Ekitike. Data wise, stats wise, style wise, the players are literally identical. Obviously, Alexander Isak's 3 years older, a little bit more of the finished article, as we know. But as far as the data teams that Liverpool and Newcastle would be looking at, they're identical. The players are identical. So Newcastle are in a situation where do they do they do they potentially miss on losing out Hugo Ekitike now? Because we all know that if Liverpool can't get Isak, they're going to go full assault on Hugo Ekitike. So do they risk losing him now and in 12 months' time losing Alexander Isak anyway, because he's not going to stick around? Is the transfer market for strikers good enough to say that in 12 months' time there's going to be a perfect replacement for Newcastle to buy, as perfect as Hugo Ekitike? I don't think so. And if that's the case, Newcastle have got a decision to make of, well, do we do a little bit of a Liverpool and Coutinho situation where we bite the bullet, we take the loss of one of our star players for an astronomical amount of money, which puts us in a financially healthier place for PSR, but also gives us money to go and reinvest. We can get the player that we ideally wanted first time, but we can get the player to replace Hugo Ekitike, sorry, replace Isak for probably around about 30-40 million pound less than what we sell Isak for, so we're in profit as well. And then we can go and sign the centre half that we need, or we can go and sign the centre midfielder that we need. I don't think it's as straightforward as Newcastle going, well, no, we don't want to sell Isak, because if that was the situation, Liverpool Football Club wouldn't be entering club to club talks. Richard Hughes, Eddie Howe, and Michael Edwards are all really close friends from their earlier days in football. So if there was any people who had any kind of inside information of of what is going on with Alexander Isak, it would be Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, and yet they're still going at it. So I just don't. Yeah, I think there's um, a lot more going on than what's being reported at the moment. Let's go to the comments. Chalk it. Oh, one sec. Need to control alt. Pull that down a bit. There we go. Chazza says, or Chalky says, sorry, I think Liverpool are playing a game of chess. I think they're going to go in the route of if you want to play for the champions, you come to us and not the club going to the playoff. Well, there's definitely a fair case to say that they're playing a game of chess. Also, if you are on the TikTok live stream and you're putting in comments, I'm not ignoring you, sorry, it's just that we are on YouTube. So if you've got any questions, go to my YouTube, go to the go to the channel, come in the live stream and ask your questions there, and I will 100% answer you. But yeah, are Liverpool playing a game of chess? 100%, no doubt about it. The the publicness today of Liverpool, coming in for Hugo Ekitike, Newcastle's top target to replace Alexander Isak or to, play alongside him is what some of them were saying, but it's not. It's to replace him long term. We've basically come in and made a ploy of you either give us your striker, which is our top target right now, or we take your top target and put you in a situation where you lose Alexander Isak in a year's time and you're completely left with no one to replace him. They have Asulo, I think it is at the moment. They're trying to sign Hugo Ekitike, and I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin is also the Callum Wilson kind of situation that they're trying to replace that role in the squad with. I think, as Chalky says, I think there's a situation where Liverpool are not they're not wanting it to get to here, but Liverpool are basically saying if Newcastle aren't willing to deal, then you either need to push for it yourself, Alexander, or you need to find a situation where we can put pressure on the selling club, and I think we're trying to do that with Hugo Ekitike. But I also think Liverpool would be absolutely fine with Hugo Ekitike. What do you guys think about Hugo? Would you take him, or does it feel like a consolation prize because we've not got Alexander Isak? Um, Same again. If you are on TikTok and you're watching and you've got any questions, go to my channel, click the link, and go to my YouTube and come in there and ask your questions in there, and I will 100% answer. We're trying to build the YouTube up at the moment. We went for a really good spell on the YouTube, and then I had to stop doing it. So we're trying to build it back up again. So if you can come over there and chat, that'd be fantastic, and you'd be really, really supporting us over there on the YouTube. Sharky, but I think they have all the transfers so far. Look at Verts, didn't jump it, just said tell us what you want, Liverpool, and we will bid. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of Liverpool acting like the big club they are again. I think the way that we've handled some of the deals so far this window, we're showing that we're the cleverest people in football again, which is brilliant to see. We're showing that Liverpool Football Club are one of the biggest clubs in the world, and we should act like one of the biggest clubs in the world. So that's really positive at the moment that we're doing that. You just don't want to become. You don't want to be seen as a sort of like as a bully, and I don't think we do that because we do everything in such an ethical way as well as basically getting what we want the majority of the time. And yeah, I think we'll carry on doing that. Right, let's go over to Twitter. See what's going on over on Twitter. Breakdown of Liverpool's net spend. Liverpool's net spend before this summer was absolutely nothing. Flights, anything on the for you? I don't think there's anything new so far. I think this is definitely gonna take a couple of days. It's not gonna be a transfer that happens overnight. I think we'll get a rough idea of where the deal is heading over the next couple of days. As far as completing or moving over to Hugo Ekitike and completing that deal, I still expect it to be a little bit of a while. But that's also just the nature of doing these. Well, I weren't talking to you. That's why you didn't catch it. That's just the nature of these, these kind of deals. This kind of beast. Right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Rodrygo. So, Rodrygo from Real Madrid. As Florentino Perez said it, they are our good friends, our dear friends, he called Liverpool Football Club. If we are your dear friends, Real Madrid, then why don't you give us Rodrygo for a fair price? Um, if you didn't see the news, last night, one of Spain's and Real Madrid's like really reliable journalists had basically explained that Liverpool are going all out for Rodrygo and are willing to do anything to make the deal happen. There is a super agent from Israel who has done deals for Liverpool in the past, most recently Lazar Markovic, who apparently is like heading up the assault for Rodrygo. Um, I think that also explains if Liverpool have identified that Rodrygo is the player they want to replace Luis Diaz. I also think that explains why Liverpool Football Club have been flatlined. He's not for sale so far because there is no clarity at the moment on whether what Rodrygo's price is. Once there is clarity on Rodrygo's price, then I think you'll see more movement for Luis Diaz being genuine rather than Liverpool just rebuffing it. As I believe, personally, the idea is to take the money from Luis Diaz and literally send it straight over to Real Madrid for Rodrygo. One of the sticking points could be, and I mentioned this last night on one of my TikTok videos, one of the potential sticking points could be the fact that Rodrygo himself is absolutely in love with Real Madrid. He's a huge Real Madrid fan, loves the club, probably doesn't see himself as having any reason to want to leave. Yes, he's played out of position and probably doesn't get as much game time as he wants, but ultimately, he's still been one of Real Madrid's most clutch players. Always steps up on the big occasions when they need him. If you've not seen much of him, then I highly recommend you go and watch him, whether it's on YouTube or if he plays another game for Real Madrid, trying to watch that live. Rodrygo is a joke, unbelievable player. To get him to replace Luis Diaz would be as big of a coup as getting Alexander Isak to replace Darwin Núñez, in my opinion. It would be a huge deal, absolutely huge deal to get that done. The player is unreal, was on Liverpool's radar for years, absolute years. Before his move to Real Madrid, Michael Edwards tried to get a deal done, and Rodrygo wanted to stay in, I think it was Brazil at the time. Yeah, wanted to stay in Brazil as he was still studying. I think he was only like 17. We didn't get him in that window. He later on obviously moved to Real Madrid. So we know Liverpool like to do deals for players that they've got a long-term interest in and can do, thorough background checks. And a situation has opened up where there is a possibility that Rodrygo leaves Real Madrid and Liverpool are ready to attack it extremely and explore it. If you're in it and you're watching, let me know in the chat. Let me know what you think about Rodrygo. Is it a player that you would like to see replace Luis Diaz? Do you think we should be moving for maybe different, maybe Anthony Gordon, or maybe more of a project in Fofana from Lyon? Go a little bit younger. I think personally, Rodrygo is the perfect replacement. Whether it happens or not, again, like I say, it's completely unknown yet. But for me, he'd be the ideal player. Also, same again, if you are in here, you're watching and you're enjoying the live stream, then please hit the like because it helps so much. It pushes out the live stream to other people, and that's how we get new people coming to the channel and finding out about us and hopefully sticking around. If you are watching on TikTok and you want to watch us on YouTube so that you can chat, same again. Go to my TikTok page, jump on the link, click the little link tree thing, and go to my YouTube. You'll find me there. We are live right now. We're chatting Liverpool Football Club, and we're chatting all our business that we're trying to do. So yeah, if you can come over, really appreciate it. Let's go back onto Twitter, see if we've got any updates on anything. No, so still people just discussing the earlier conversation, well, the earlier stuff from David Ornstein about, Liverpool wouldn't move for Alexander Isak if they didn't get some kind of encouragement from somewhere, which, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, like I say, jump in on the chat. Another message from Chalky. There be a more chance to get Rodrygo if the striker we signed was Ekitike and Isak because of the cost difference between the two? Possibly Chalky. Yeah, I was thinking this myself, that if it's Hugo Ekitike as the striker, then that'd probably see Liverpool be even more on the pursuit for Rodrygo. However, I wouldn't put it down to a price thing. Money wise, they've got absolute bags left to spend before they're even potentially looking at impacting PSR or anything like that. I think it'd be more going for Rodrygo if we got a Katike, because that's more of a solid profile to come in, and bolster the attack. Whereas, for example, if they got Alexander Isak, then there's probably not as much emphasis on having to sign a Rodrygo at left wing, and you could stick with Diaz until the end of his contract, or you could, go for more of a project in Fofana. The ideal is both, and I wouldn't write anything off. 100% wouldn't write anything off, because the talk of the money for Rodrygo is like 80 million, 90 million euros, which is probably similar or maybe just shy of what we would get for, is what we would get for Luis Diaz. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that, as in price wise. I know, but you need to bring in a centre back too. Well, so the centre back situation I think is interesting, because we're in a situation where I think it's pretty clear that we want Mark Gay. To get Mark Gay from Crystal Palace, they're going to have to move the goalpost a little bit and come cheaper. It simply is too much money to ask at the moment for a player who's only got a year left on his contract. It won't happen at the current deal. But what it is one where you can give patience, because if it is Mark Gay, for example, you can sign him pre-agreement in 6 months' time, and Crystal Palace know that, and they want Diamande. The centre back, I think, is shelved for the moment, because they know they can be patient when it comes to Mark Gay. So I wouldn't worry about that one. I think the focus right now is on striker, left winger, getting those done, bolstering the attack, making it a little bit younger, giving it a bit more pace, a bit more power, a bit more dynamism, and a bit more of I suppose, a bit more of a world class level to it, to go and really attack the Premier League and the Champions League again. There was a report a while ago. Let me find. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. If I can't find it, I remember it anyway. Yeah, the it was Michael. It was a report about Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards saying that they are on the assault for world football domination. This transfer window, this project with Liverpool. It's not about winning the Premier League and calling it job done. It's all about winning everything. It's about winning the Champions League. It's about winning the Premier League. It's about dominating world football, like Real Madrid did for a couple of years. So I 100% have, especially after Florian Wirtz, have faith in any kind of big name that you link with of us going forward. I really, really do. We can't sign him on a pre-contract because we're in the same league. Well, so I don't mean like as an official announcement pre-contract, Chalky, but we can. You can agree. So you can agree for obviously a Bosman come the summer, which I think the club would be happy to do, and then sign a younger centre half, cheaper younger centre half this summer. Keep Canate when Canate's contract runs out. You've then got Matt Gay coming in. Hello, Sean. Sean says, if Liverpool bought Ekitike for 77 million, then ship Harvey Elliott and Ekitike off to Newcastle for Alexander Isak. Wait, so are you saying as in like buy Ekitike now and then like literally like straight away then go and send him to Newcastle with Harvey Elliott? Or are you saying like Newcastle should look at sorry, we should look at offering Harvey Elliott and money for thingy? Isak. Hato from Ajax. Hato from Ajax was linked again. He was linked again today by Ben Jacobs. The price they're wanting is astronomical. So I would be surprised. I would be surprised personally if it was Jarell Hato. And I also think Jarell Hato needs another year at Ajax. The young centre half, I honestly think it'll be a name out of nowhere, out of absolutely nowhere. Dean Howson, I think, was the ideal that they could go and get a centre half who can come in and play now, but also fits the young bill. But right, obviously that's not possible anymore. So no idea on the centre half apart from Mark Gay. Yes, yes, brilliant chess move. I mean, it'd be one hell of a chess move. I don't think it'd financially be doable. But who knows? Apparently, Harvey Elliott, Newcastle, not Newcastle, sorry, Aston Villa have entered the chat for Harvey Elliott. So, hmm. Who knows? Liverpool want World Championship status. You are right, Sean. Liverpool 100% are trying to attack the world. They are trying to attack world football. They want to dominate everything. They want to dominate the Premier League. They want to dominate the Champions League. They want to win everything in the foreseeable future. And I don't know about you, but I am all on board for it. Let's go to Twitter again. See if there's any updates. No, I'm not seeing anything on the old Twitter. People, if you are watching on TikTok, then go to my bio, hit the little link tree thing in my bio, come over to my YouTube. That's where we are live streaming now. If you've got any questions, send them there because that's where I'll be answering them. Smell of a Chelsea fan. Who's the smell of a Chelsea fan? Sorry, I don't know if I was paying attention. Oh, you on about the smell of a Chelsea fan, Sharky, because of the World Championship thing, the World Domination? So yeah, same again. If you're on TikTok, come over to the YouTube. That's where you can ask your questions. That's where they'll be answered. Come over, give us a subscribe, like the live stream because it helps boost us up. Oh, Sean smells of a Chelsea. Yeah. I get you now. 3 teams competing for Hugo Ekitike. Man United, Liverpool, and Newcastle. Why is my Twidget thing not actually displaying the emojis? That's annoying. It just says hard. Yeah, I think it was United as well, weren't it, that were rumoured to be in for Hugo Ekitike, but I wouldn't take that serious. Man United being at that table for Hugo Ekitike is like me being at the table for a salad. It's just simply not happening. And neither would I get a salad. Although, I did just have Greek yogurt and grapes for my tea, and it was really nice. Vanilla. Oh my God. Who's this guy, right? Who are you on about there, Dave? Sorry. Dave, did you find the YouTube? Did you find your way over to the YouTube? Chalky says the only thing Man United are competing for is to avoid relegation. Damn right, Chalky. Damn right. There was reports today that they're even talking about pulling out of the deal for Mbuemo because of Brentford changing the price. United are broke. Oh, you found it, Dave. Brilliant. Are you watching it now? Are you on the YouTube now, or did you just go over and subscribe? Uh, so we spoke Rodrygo, spoke a little bit on Hugo Ekitike, which spoke obviously on Alexander Isak. I am going to load up the old Spotify and pop on a little bit of Liverpool songs. Damn. And I'll play them in the background. Let me know if you can hear them. If you're watching on the YouTube, I am going to play it just whilst I go and get a drink. So I'll keep the stream going, but we'll play a little bit of music. What should we put on? There we go. Every other Saturday. So give me 1 second. What are you thinking of Real Fish Future? Dave, come over to the YouTube. Come and ask your questions in the YouTube chat, and then I can answer them. Because that's the one I'm watching at the moment, and I've got my eye on. So yeah, right. I will be 2 minutes. I'm gonna pop my drink up. Might even get a beer. Yeah, I'm gonna get a beer. So stay there. 1 second. We're back. We're back, YouTube. We are back. See, these are twists off, right? The twist offs. They don't twist crap. Got it. I just can't get enough. Has the YouTube gone down or am I back? I've been back for ages on that. Man, is that how bad the lag is? Big up, Robbie. Big up, Robbie and all the Reds. Big up, my son. You're missing out. If you're watching on TikTok, you're missing out. You need to come over to the YouTube channel. Come over to the YouTube now. Get your bums over to the YouTube for the Reds. The link is in the bio, or just go on YouTube and type in for the Reds. We're having a big party over there. We're talking transfers. We're talking Liverpool. We're talking everything. Get over onto the YouTube. Come and subscribe. You will not regret it. Big up Robbie Salmon. Thank God that's not Robbie Savage. I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. 10 points to whoever can name the football player from Liverpool that this song is about. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that. 10 points to whoever can name the Liverpool player that we turned this song into, like about them. I just can't get enough, and I just can't get enough. Who can name it? Who can name the player? Yes, it's Shane Buckley. Well done. Luis Suarez. Correct. Well done, my son. Smashed it. Sitting down a bit. Who are you hoping we get in on the front line and defence? Well, Sean, I am hoping that the left winger is Rodrygo. I am hoping that the striker is Alexander Isak, and I am hoping that the centre back is Mark Gay. They are my chosen ones. Tom Reynolds is in the house. Hello, Tom. How are we, my friend? I am not bad, thank you very much. I am trying the rebirth of For the Reds. Now, Tom, I don't think you was around at the very, very start of For the Reds. I don't think you was. Tom, if correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you are from the TikTok only, aren't you, Tom? I don't think you were here back in the early YouTube days, was you? Again, correct me if I'm wrong, and I hope you're doing well. Igor Biscan, what a player. You know, show signs of ending. You've had enough fair hours, but you're carrying on pretending. Your shoes have lost the shine. Combo's lost his pace. Let's check the old Twitter. Is anything happening over there? What have we got going on? It's looking like a bit of a quieter day. Liverpool have put a £43.5 million price tag on Ibrahim Kanate for any clubs interested in him this summer. Damn. I don't think anyone's paying that for Kanate this summer. I think they know he's going to run that contract down, so I would be surprised. TikTok only, yeah. Well, so Tom, here we go. I'll give you all a little bit of a For the Reds history for those who are interested. So, For the Reds originally started as something called For the Coaches, where I wanted to make videos that would help football coaches. Because being a football coach myself, who'd obviously worked in the game at a high level and still does, I wanted to educate coaches or give them materials that they could use to better their coaching because I didn't think there was anything out there like half decent. I then quickly realised we weren't good enough to do that. So yeah, so I scrapped that and I turned it into For the Reds. And I used to make YouTube videos. I've got like lighting, I had a green screen, I had a full setup. Used to do live streams with other content creators. It was really good. I got a video that hit 10K. This was all in the era of when it was rumoured that Qatari were trying to buy Liverpool. I think it was like December 2022 or something like that. So I used to make these videos, and then life gets in the way, and I couldn't make them anymore because they took quite a lot of time to do live streams, to edit, etc. So then I moved over to TikTok and started making the TikToks that you see now, where I just get my phone out, blah, 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 and upload it. But the YouTube obviously is where I really want to do it, because that's ultimately where you can potentially make a career out of it. It's where you can talk more. It's where you can interact. I think you can interact with the chat a little bit better, especially with YouTube live streaming like we're doing now. So yeah, so we're trying the rebirth. We are trying to rebirth For the Reds. Give it a go. I've got some free time. I really enjoy making the content and live streams, so it just makes sense to me. So yeah, there's a little bit of history. What have we got here from Tom? Damn. Let's read this. My barber is best mates with Michael Edwards. All he said to me earlier was watch this space. His name is Aurelio, works in posh cuts in Peterborough. He grew up with Edwards, always gives me little ins. He grew up with Edwards? Why? Where did Edwards grow up? Yes, mate. Need new Patrick Berger, number 15. Hello, Burton. How are we, dude? Burton Jav. Number 15. Who was the last person to wear number 15 at Liverpool? Was it Daniel Sturridge? Or please don't tell me there's a Liverpool player now who wears 15 and I've just completely forgot about it. Sean says, I think sometimes Ekatike is a better striker than Isak. He's a brilliant, brilliant striker. 100%, 100% a fantastic striker, Sean. A little bit more unproven, definitely a bit more of a gamble. But ultimately, if you were to tell me at the start of the window we were more than likely going to get one of Alexander Isak or Hugo Ekatike as our striker for next season, with Florian Wirtz and Mohamed Salah supplying them, absolutely fine by me. No problems there whatsoever. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to watch the space. If you're in the live stream, please hit a like. Please, 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 please hit a like on the live stream on YouTube. It helps grow the channel. It helps push the live stream out to more people. There's currently 16 people in here apparently watching, which is incredible. You know, ask any questions, come and join the community, subscribe, have a little chat. It'll be great. It'll be great. Grew up in Southampton, then moved to Peterborough, where he played for Peterborough United. He did, yes, didn't he? He was from Southampton. Mm. Can you imagine that? Can you? Can you imagine? Like, can you just imagine Michael Edwards getting his hair cut and being like, "Yeah, well, you know, we're in conversations with Newcastle about Alexander Isak, and you know, in a couple of weeks we'll sign Florian Wirtz." Oh, just a little bit more off the side there for me, please. And yeah, that'd be pretty jokes. That just giving all you but the goss. So he didn't play for Posh. His kid did. Right, okay, that makes sense. I've got a mate who used to coach at Peterborough Academy. He's from down there. He's from the old Peterborough. I don't know why I went Brummie. What is the Peterborough accent? It's a bit Cornwall-ish, isn't it? Don't live down there anymore. He'll have a very, very nice house in Alderley Edge or Chester or Formby. Probably somewhere in Manchester, I'd imagine, for Michael Edwards, as I think we have offices in Manchester as well. Same again, if you're on the TikTok and you're watching, come over to the YouTube for the Reds, or alternatively, go into my bio, click the link, click on the YouTube. We're live streaming there right now. It's where we're talking football. Gives tickets to my barber, so that's how I've been getting up there. Right, okay. Well, that is a barber that you want to keep very close friends with. 100%, Tom. Do not lose friends with him. Let's again check the old Twitter. Interesting. Hmm. All right. So you will laugh at me, Tom. I am supposed to be in Cornwall for the Atletico Bilbao friendly. Um, which, if that's the case, the idea this time is to actually stay in Cornwall, not get annoyed, frustrated, and then drive home the night before, because the 4th is the night that we drive up. But there is a good chance that we're going to have to cancel Cornwall this Friday. So if I cancel it, then I'm hoping to try and get tickets for the game, but they're sold out at the moment, which is annoying. So yeah, If Cornwall gets cancelled, which it more than likely will be, then I'm hoping to be there. But it's going to be difficult to get tickets now, especially because it's sold out on the club website. Burton Jav, I don't play the Sun Dream team, mate, so I couldn't tell you if that's a good price or a bad price for Verts. To be honest, I won't touch anything to do with the Sun, so yeah, you won't find me there. Right, I'm going to close the old TikTok down, and we are going to stay. We're going to stay now on YouTube only. YouTube only. Mason Blamere. Hello, Mason. How are we, mate? You okay? Welcome. Is this your first time seeing us? If so, hello. Welcome to For the Reds. Please consider subscribing. Maybe not watch any of my old YouTube videos because they're from so long ago. The plan is to be back now and being a bit more consistent on the old live streaming and maybe even making some more videos. So yeah, let's play the music again. So yeah. Well, this guy is a talking point, isn't it? Luis Diaz. It's probably about time we talk about Luis Diaz. Oh, brilliant, Mason. Well, it's nice to see you two again, man. I suppose it's welcome to the rebirth of For the Reds. Then we're gonna go again. We're gonna try and go again. Be more consistent. Get on live streams. Maybe do some content with other creators again. Give it a proper go. Try and get to that 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. It's like watering a tree. Yeah, you have a little seed and you just water it and you feed it every day. You got to be consistent with it, and then hopefully one day it flourishes into a beautiful, lovely tree. Or it just stays as a little shrub if you don't do anything with it. So you've got to try. He's going to go. I think Liverpool knew this, hence why. Yeah, was you in here before, Tom, when we were talking about Rodrygo? If you wasn't, then that was my opinion. Was that we're basically trying to find out the price for Rodrygo. Then once we find out the price for Rodrygo, that's what we'll charge for Diaz. And the money from Diaz will go straight into our pocket, and then that'll go straight over to Real Madrid for Rodrygo. And by the way, replacing Luis Diaz with Rodrygo would be unbelievable business. It as good as replacing Darwin Núñez with Alexander Isak, in my opinion. So yeah, my other beer is going to be warm. I have to put that in the fridge. Mighty Reds of Europe are out to win today. Do we think we're going to get any news tonight? Or are we expecting it to be quiet for a couple of days? Are we thinking quiet for a couple of days, or do you reckon we're going to get some news tonight? Early Liverpool comp predictions. Oh, look, it all depends. All depends on the signings that are made, doesn't it? If Liverpool finish the transfer window with replacing Jarell Kwanzaa with Mark Gay, replacing Luis Diaz with Rodrygo, replacing Darwin Núñez with Alexander Isak, then you've got to say that retaining the Premier League title is the bare minimum. The Jota situation definitely makes it a little bit more. What's the word? More, sorry, a little bit less of a demand because we understand what the players are going to go through and what the fans are going to go through and staff. But the actual players on the team sheet, it's probably the strongest Liverpool squad there's been for a long time. If it's Hugo Ekitike, for example, replacing Darwin Núñez, and it's Malik Fofana replacing Luis Diaz, then I think there's probably less of a demand on winning the Premier League title, and you're looking at more what can we do maybe the season after. Um, if I was going to put any early predictions in on where I think the window might go, then I think Liverpool will be there or thereabouts for the Premier League again, regardless of if we finished all our business now. I also think that we're going to be. I think we'll go deep in the Champions League. I think that's the one. I think that's the one they're after. I think that's the one that the club are after. The players are after. Yeah, I think that's the one that they're after. 100%. Yeah, I'd say the same, Tom. I think it'll be three more players in, a centre half, a left winger, and a striker. And then outgoings, I think you'll see Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, potentially Harvey Elliott, Tyler Morton, um, maybe Ben Doak. I think Federico Chiesa is still potential. I think Andy Robertson is still a potential. So yeah, maybe Friday. Yeah, could be Friday. Some news. We do like to do news on a Friday. I've noticed that. Reports saying PIF had upset with Liverpool's threat. Saw that before, MM. First of all, welcome. Hello to Florida Reds. If you've not subscribed, then consider subscribing, as we're going to be plenty more live streams. Um, if not, then just hit us a like if you enjoy it to help support. Um, I wouldn't believe those reports personally. Liverpool haven't done anything, absolutely anything in the wrong at the moment. Um, we have entered club to club talks, which the other club has to agree to. So they're clearly happy with that. And they're saying that you are willing to pay a transfer record fee for somebody. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing whatsoever. So I wouldn't believe anything at all regarding that, to be honest. Do I not think it'll be Simicast? No, I think Simicast will stay, to be honest, Tom. I could be wrong. I just think you get more. I think you get more of a willingness to sit on the bench and play his role that way from Simicast. Whereas I don't think you get that from. I don't think you get that from Robbo. I think he wants to play. So yeah, I think Simicast will be the one that stays. Um, any chance of you updating? No. I have seen your message, Mason, but for some reason my Twidget won't update. But yeah, any actual Rodriguez news? There was Rodrigo news. It was last night. It was from one of Spain and Real Madrid's most reliable reporters. Is that gone out of focus again? There we go. It was one of Spain and Real Madrid's more reliable reporters saying that Liverpool are ready to go on the full offensive for Rodrygo. There is a super agent who is currently helping try and facilitate the deal and find out the price and probably do a little bit of convincing Rodrigo to leave Real Madrid. He is 83 now, and he's done business for Liverpool before. He's a bit of a dodgy old character, but what agents aren't. Yeah, the Rodrigo stuff 100% is true and completely has legs to it. Will that result in him coming? Who knows? Nothing on Twitter. I have a question for you all. Those who are watching. Um, question. Is will will Newcastle see the situation with Alexander Isak as possibly, okay, as possibly if we don't make a sign, if we don't sell Alexander Isak, are we sending out the wrong message to? Are we sending out the wrong message to players? of interest in the future. As if you think about it, there's a food chain, right? In football, there is a food chain. You have the top three, four clubs in the world: Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and probably Bayern Munich, or what maybe were. Below that food chain, then and I'm talking currently. Below that food chain, then usually goes your likes of Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal. Clubs who Atletico Madrid, clubs who are big clubs and are there or thereabouts sometimes for trophies and can still attract players with the wages that they can pay and the size of their club, but they're not the elite of the elite at the moment. Newcastle are nowhere near becoming in that top two category. So they're down in the food chain. Players view those clubs as a platform to go and play for some of the biggest clubs in the world: Liverpool's, Real Madrid's, Barcelona's. You have to accept that that is your model for the meantime. Liverpool had to do it when Jurgen Klopp first came in. Sell to buy, stepping stone for clubs. We you try and build and build and build. Start off with the League Cup. You start off with a trophy, and you try and build on that while still doing a little bit of sell to buy. It's a long-term project to try and establish yourself as one of those big clubs that becomes a destination rather than a stepping stone. Newcastle aren't that destination yet, and are not going to be that destination until they've done countless years in the Champions League and at the top of the Premier League. So if you are Alexander Isak and the whole stepping stone situation that you tried for doesn't work out, if you're another player that Newcastle want in the future, if you are that young centre half from Atalanta, or if you are a Hugo Ekitike, for example, I don't think you're viewing Newcastle in the same light then, because you're using them as a club to sign for, do really well, you know, facilitate a massive move. If players start getting a whiff of when you get to the point of where you feel like you've done your service and a massive club comes in and you want the massive move, it doesn't get accepted. Players just aren't. It's just the players just simply aren't going to choose Newcastle anymore. That's the long and the short and bottom of it. And Alexander Isak will be feeling the same if he can't get his move to Liverpool Football Club this window. Then next summer he's going to be looking for a move, and Barcelona may come in, and he might get a big move. But right now, Liverpool Football Club are the hottest prospect in world football, especially if you're a striker. You're going to be coming in, you're going to have Milos Kerkez and Jeremy Frimpong bombing it up and down the lines for you. You're going to have Mohamed Salah and Florian Wirtz in and around the edge of the box trying to supply you. You're going to potentially have Rodrygo come in, or not. You're going to have Cody Gakpo coming inside and putting those wonderful crosses in. You're going to have Dominic Soboslai, McAllister, and Gravenberg creating from deep. Being a striker right now, there'd be no better football team to play for than Liverpool Football Club. And and if that move doesn't get facilitated for Alexander Isak, how do you think he's going to feel? He's done his service to Newcastle. He's come in, he's banged loads of goals in. He fired them to the Champions League. That didn't quite work out. He then fired them to their first trophy in God knows how many years in beating us in the League Cup final and was instrumental in doing so. Alexander Isak has done and achieved everything that he set out for when he signed for Newcastle, and Newcastle have got everything that they desired out of Alexander Isak. So it's now at a point where how does he make that next step in his career at 25 years of age? Well, the next step for a player like Alexander Isak would be competing for and winning Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. Liverpool Football Club have a far better track record than Newcastle United for winning the Champions League and winning the Premier League. He's 25. He's only got 5, 6 years left where he is firing on all cylinders. He will not be wanting to spend the next 3 years of them at Newcastle. just something to think about. When we look at this whole situation of how is Alexander Isak feeling right now? Whilst he's out there training with Newcastle, how is he feeling sat there watching this play out? I would definitely not rule out Alexander Isak's team, his agent, handing in a transfer request. It is not a good look. It is not a good look to hold players against their will. Player power is huge, absolutely huge in the modern day. The last thing you want to do is hold players like that, of that size, of that magnitude, against their power and against their desires to move on. It never looks good and it never works out. Some information on Will Wright from Salford City. So, Salford City, who are owned by the class of '92, which is Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, David Beckham, that era of football, Ryan Giggs, etc. David Beckham obviously doesn't own them anymore, strictly. But Will Wright, 17 years of age, scored 40 goals last season for the youth teams, and has been recently playing for the first team in pre-season, and I think has scored 3 goals in 4 games. Liverpool and Manchester City were interested, and then Arsenal as well. Now, I can confirm from knowing one of Will's friends and one of his teammates. Oh well, I know him because I coach him, and I've coached him since he was like 14. I know that Will wants to come to Liverpool. I know that Salford have been hardballing and want over £500,000, which is a lot of money for a Category 3 academy player. I know that they're playing him in the first team for hoping that he does well to boost up his price, as anybody would with any sense. Arsenal, I don't believe he was interested in moving down south. That could have changed. I've not spoke to his teammate recently about it. And Manchester City apparently wanted him to come in on like a 2-week trial before they decided what fee was acceptable for them to send to Salford, which that he's never going to accept that, and obviously he didn't. So yeah, if you've not seen him, that's absolutely fine. You don't really need to see him. It's just more the show of intention that Liverpool are seriously trying to improve their academy at the older age groups. Under 18s, under 21s last season did nowhere near good enough, and there's been a complete strip up of the staff, of the players, of everybody basically involved in the youth setup in the academy, in what's called the PDP, the player development phase. It's basically just been stripped apart and starting again. So Will Wright could be the striker that pins that. We have an update. Um, we have an update, people, on Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak. So, info coming out of Germany. Understand Liverpool are willing to pay more than what Newcastle have offered for Hugo Ekitike, and Frankfurt have been informed about it. No agreement between Newcastle and Frankfurt yet, despite advanced talks between Newcastle and Ekitike's camp. Liverpool are still monitoring the situation closely. The approach from Liverpool to Frankfurt for Hugo Ekitike is not something that happened today. Liverpool spoke to people involved on the deal to be informed on the situation. He is a strong option. Liverpool are prepared to pay £120 million and above for Alexander Isak, a world like a Premier League transfer record, but there is no green light yet from Newcastle. However, the story has just started. We will have to see how it continues. That is from Fabrizio Romano and Pletigol from Germany. Now, let's clear one thing up, right? Which I think is really, really important. Yes. Liverpool don't approach Newcastle about Alexander Isak if there's not encouragement from somewhere. We are the smartest people in the footballing world at the moment. We don't go into things blind. Our deal is our deal. Our transfers and our business is done so methodically and over such a long period of time that we very, 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 very rarely go into situations blasé or just walk in without knowing any information, right? People know this. Journalists know this. There is a reason that Liverpool Football Club have not signed a striker yet. There is a reason that Liverpool Football Club have constantly been linked to Alexander Isak and said that if the green light comes, the door opens ajar, Liverpool are ready to run through it at full pelt, Premier League transfer record pelt, right? Club to club talks have started officially between Liverpool and Newcastle. We know this. That encouragement has come from somewhere. Now, it simply will not be the agent of Alexander Isak telling Liverpool, you know what? I think they might be open to this. Throw a little bid in. It'll be more than that, right? It'll be Eddie Howe, who is currently the manager but also the standing director of football at Newcastle. It will be Eddie Howe encouraging the conversations to the table. It will be Alexander Isak himself telling his agent to bring Liverpool to the table. It will be Alexander Isak's agent telling him telling Liverpool to come to the table. It will be everybody involved all coming to an agreement that we should take this to the official table and start talking about it. That only happens. That only happens if everybody agrees. Now, if he weren't for sale and it was a flat line hard no, there's nothing to talk about. There's no need to waste time. There's no bluffs or anything like that. It's just simple no. So Newcastle and Alexander Isak have brought Liverpool to the table. That is important. That is vital. Let's go to the comments. Wasn't Keith the Sky Sports guy at St James's Park? Well, first of all, Tom, that Keith is an absolute balloon and doesn't know his ass from his elbow. And Sky Sports is also notoriously horrific for reporting on anything nowadays. They are usually weeks, if not months, behind. So I did see it. I did see the report. That was definitely not off any kind of inside information. That was just going off, the reports from weeks ago that Newcastle don't want to sell him. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that in the slightest. Yeah. Sky Sports is terrible. And like you say, yeah, Sky Sports also said that Liverpool weren't in talks with Florian Wirtz and that he didn't visit Liverpool when they clearly did. Fabrizio Romano says a little bit more. Isak is very calm. He knows Liverpool would offer not just important money, but also an ambitious project. He is not closing the door to the possibility. LFC were never going to make the club-to-club contact without feeling that the player could be open to the move this summer. So, as we've just spoke about, there has to be encouragement from somewhere for Liverpool Football Club to open club-to-club contacts. So the encouragement has come from Liverpool. Has come to Liverpool from Alexander Isak and Newcastle. That's definitely one not to rule out, Tom. Harvey Elliott being involved in the deal, whether that's directly a player plus cash money or it's a simple matter of fact of, well, you've dealt with us and you have sold us Alexander Isak, so we will give you Harvey Elliott for a little bit cheaper and maybe a better deal than what other clubs would get. Yeah. So that's also interesting. This feels very much like the Wirtz deal. Now, I think the reporting of it is also very similar. Usually, the media can be anything from a day to a week behind where things actually are. And if you remember when it came out about Wirtz, it was all Liverpool know it's a really, really hard deal to do. Still expect him to stay to go to Bayern Munich or stay in Germany, but we've shown that we're interested. It sounds similar when it comes to Alexander Isak, doesn't it? Of the Liverpool are throwing their hat in the ring for Alexander Isak, the same that we did Wirtz, but understand that it's a really hard deal to do. Understand that Newcastle don't want to sell him. That's what's expected. Ready to move on to alternatives and Hugo Ekitike if a deal can't be done. But if the door is open ajar, Liverpool are ready to go and spend ridiculous amounts of money on the player. Very, very similar to the Wirtz stuff. Very similar. Do you reckon they are downplaying it because Newcastle fans, like they will end up saying it was too much to say no and we need to reinforce for Champions League? Football clubs very rarely care what fans think. Very rarely care what football fans think. If you can get good PR out of a situation, then great. If you get bad PR out of a situation, then usually they're just not that bothered. What I would say is there's probably a good chance that Newcastle are wanting a situation where Alexander Isak has to push for the move a little bit, just so that Newcastle can turn around and go, look, the player wants the move. We've got an alternative lined up. It gives us money to go and reinvest. There's no PSR issues anymore. We will become a stronger club for it, and we thank Alexander Isak for everything he's done. So yeah, I think that's a possibility. Shimmy, shimmy, across the shimmy cast. Says he's Greek, but we all know that he's Scouse. Shimmy, 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 across the shimmy cast. Interesting news on the player that we were just talking about, the youth player, Will Wright from Salford. It is rumoured now that Liverpool have pulled out of the deal, as it is no longer feasible and are not willing to negotiate anymore for the player, because Salford's asking price, which is a shame because very, very talented young player. Someone that I know wanted the move to Liverpool, so he'll be disappointed, which is a shame. But Liverpool have their budgets and their reams, and they work within them. If we don't get Isak and end up with Ekitike, it ain't all bad because the extra money goes on Rodrygo with his total package, including wages, and then get Gate. That's what we mentioned a little bit as well, didn't we, before, Tom, of that if it is Hugo Ekitike, then see Liverpool probably go really strong with the left winger. I think they'll want to go as strong as possible anyway, regardless of whether it's Isak or Hugo Ekitike. But Hugo Ekitike probably does give you a little bit more room, as you say, to go on the offensive for Rodrygo and potentially sign, like I say, a more high-profile left winger. If it's Alexander Isak, then they might look at maybe a Malik Fofana or something like that. Doom doom bum 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 ba bum 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 bum. Damn, we have gone up 7 subscribers. 7 subscribers since we started this live stream. That is class. Thank you. Imagine we get Isak and slap our wang out and get Ekatike as well. Are we going to do what the Newcastle fans were saying and play a 4-4-2? I personally, I would rather get Alexander Isak and then keep Federico Chiesa as the option through the middle. One, so we can keep a Song, and then two, just because I think Federico Chiesa will do that role of sitting on the bench like he's done this season and get his opportunities in the FA Cup and the League Cup. As you'd imagine, whether it's Hugo Ekitike or Alexander Isak, if they're fit, they're playing all of the games, aren't they? Boom, 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 boom. My other beer is warm. Do we think that Alexander Isak remaining calm is a good thing? I think it is. I think the calmer Alexander Isak is, the better, as he'll be informed of how it's going daily. If he's calm, that means Liverpool are calm. If he starts to get agitated, that probably means that Newcastle are blocking it even more so. So I think right now, whilst he's calm, that's good. If Alexander Isak is calm, I'm calm. If Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes are calm, I am 100,000,000% calm. No doubt about that. Fabrizio Romano carries on to say, Liverpool remain in active conversations for Alexander Isak. Liverpool want to try until it's not possible. The club will insist to try and make something happen. No problem at all, Tom. I hope work goes well, mate. Thank you for coming along and joining us, and welcome to For the Reds YouTube channel. Great to have you there as well as the TikTok. So yeah, thank you very much, and yeah, hopefully I catch you in the next live stream. Boom, 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 down, 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 down. We're gonna take a 2 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute break. I'll still be here. I'm just gonna put the music on for you and just play the music a little bit. Just whilst I have to send some messages and do a little bit. Live on YouTube. Let my by the gas, yeah. Leave the truth, carry on, get out. I'm kiss my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town. It's a dirty old town. These are censored up. These are number four. Watching this, I'm watching smoke. Feel lost. Oh, God, watching to life. He's better than die. He's better than die. He's a censored up. These are number four. Watching, I'm watching smoke. Feel lost. God, watching life. He's better than die. He's better than die. He's a censored out. He's a love. Watching, I'm watching smoke. If that's the come watching tonight. These virgins are dying. These virgins are dying. Keep listening to the music. I'm gonna go and get a drink. These are no more. Watching, watching smoke. Feel that I'm watching light. There's a one time. These virgins are dying. These are censored out. These are no for watching. I'm watching so it was the floor. Come out you like you spent your long time. These spent your long time. Team, the greatest team you've ever seen. That team that played. Nearly. On my chest. We are the men of Shankly's best. We're back, people. After our little break, got ourselves a drink. I'm Mr. Mrs. Look at me. Tell you what, we've done 309 views tonight. With a 312 views. Support has been good, man. It's been good. It's been enjoyable. We're going to keep going until probably just before 9. We'll keep going until 9 o'clock, and then we will sign off. As I need to have a shower, and then I will probably do a little bit more work on the actual stream, like finding a background and things like that for it, and just trying to professional it up a little bit. As obviously, I want to make the best stream possible for you guys. So let's see. YouTube. Um, in my channel. How delayed is it? Okay, so it's not that delayed. Um, the camera, however, seems to be coming through at not full HD, I think, for you guys, which is an issue. I wonder if that is down to lighting. What happens if I do that? Are you getting better quality there now? Okay, yeah. So, right, well, anyway, I'm going to sign off so that I can have a little look for you. So, if you have watched today, I greatly appreciate it. Sorry, let me get back on it. Facts out. Yeah, if you have been watching on For the Reds, I really, really appreciate it. Your support means everything. If you've enjoyed it, then please consider subscribing because we're going to be back with loads of live streams. I'm going to have some guests on here and other things like that, so it will be fantastico. So yeah, hope to see you here. If not, catch me over on TikTok as well. For the Reds, same again. And yeah, love and peace. See you all later.